Hello, welcome to this Tropical Depression 8 weather update. Even though it's a very weak tropical depression, we have to talk about it because it's producing a lot of rain. You can sort of see here on the satellite, you can clearly see the circulation here that we have. And today we were in the high clouds, a very junky looking sky, a lot of cirrus stratus, jet junk, and also haze as well. Looking at the moon tonight. This is the moon tonight. Yeah, look at how red it was when it was coming up, so it indicates there's still a lot of haze, mostly aloft, but you can clearly see it on the satellite image as well. But let's take a look at Tropical Depression 8 here. Of course, they still have it here, so we still have the we can use the view here and show you Tropical Depression 8 here, and you can still see that moisture feed coming off and a very well-defined circulation. Not a tropical storm, but it is producing a lot of rain. You can see those billowing clouds. Those showers and thunderstorms that you can almost see like a feeder band coming in off the Atlantic here with this. So we'll go here and we'll look at the change the color here, and you can see this feeder band here. I thought I changed it to red. What happened here? All right, let's try that again. You can see that feeder band here coming in. And that's a lot of moisture coming in with that feeder band, and that's producing a lot of heavy rain. And so when we look at our weather and hazards map, you'll see there are flash flood warnings in effect for large parts of eastern North Carolina into central North Carolina, particularly the trying to see the cities in here, but we have a lot of flash flooding in these areas. And if we look at some of the observations here and some of the rainfall amounts, you see the winds are nothing remarkable, but if we look at the amount of precipitation that has fallen in the past 24 hours in this area, look at this. So we have a lot of rain falling, 4 inches of rain in New River, wherever that is, at Jacksonville, North Carolina, really getting hit hard. Oh my gosh, this is even worse. This can't be real. 14.35 at the Nature Conservancy here. 6.46 at Bolivia. 15.4. Oh my gosh, this is like over a foot of rain. This is way more rain, and this is just in 24 hours. So there's been some catastrophic flooding in a lot of these areas. It looks like just make these layers a little bit less. Looks like a sparsely populated area in this area, but some of these other areas have, like Whitesville, 6.59 inches. So there's a lot of rain that has fallen in a lot of these areas. And this also includes South Carolina as well. Florence, Darlington, as far as there's no flash flood watches and warnings over in these areas. But these areas just get pounded over and over again. Jacksonville, North Carolina, really getting hit hard. And this is just the past 24 hours of rainfall. If we make it 48 hours, these numbers go up even a little bit more. But there's been a tremendous amount of rain in some areas here, and the rain just keeps on coming. That's the problem. If we look at the latest radar in this area, I'll show you what's been going on here. So tropical rainstorm dumps over 20 inches of rain in southeastern North Carolina. So this is what's going on here. Again, very unusual to see this, but because the system is stalled, you can see the flooding going on here. Look at the flooding here. Look at this, 22.89 inches. I'm definitely going to put this into the in the links here below. This is incredible flooding. Of course, nobody's talking about this in the news. They're all fixated on you-know-who. But you see here, look at this heavy rain just constantly moving in. Yeah, just this like feeder band. It's just stuck because we don't have a jet stream. This is why all this is going on. I was speaking about this last night. And that's why the models have such uncertainty going on. We don't really have a jet stream to move anything around. This is the kind of stuff that we were told about. This is the kind of stuff that we are expecting that's happening because of climate change. We're not seeing jet streams. We're not seeing a normal progression of weather. So you have this low that's kind of stuck here. We also have the remnants of the other storm that was forgot her name already. The other storm that not Florence. It was the F storm. But you had the remnants of that sitting for a while because we've had this unusual blocking pattern. So here's Again, here's the satellite image of it. We're going to go to the latest from the National Hurricane Center on it. And you can see 8 right now. They don't really have... but the flooding is a concern, and that's why they've got the flooding. And they've kind of moved this flooding threat now and focused it on... can't we get that a little larger? That image that they have there? Here we go. Flash flooding potential. And you'll see here southern New Jersey, but it's just marginal. The main areas are from Virginia, and then there's one area around Wilmington here, at least 40. So there's been a lot of flooding from this. You don't need a major hurricane. You just need a stalled tropical system, and this is what's causing all these heavy rains that we're seeing in this area, and it's just really unfathomable to see this all. We can also look at the radar from... we'll just put Wilmington, North Carolina. So we get another look at another radar that they have there. Here are those feeder bands. You can see them coming in one after another. There's showers and thunderstorms as well, probably lightning coming in and hitting the same areas over and over and over and over again. Because nothing is moving. Nothing is moving. It's all stalled out. So if we look at our weather map here, you'll see we've got the high pressure over the northeast, this big ridge in Canada, no jet stream, so this low is just sitting here. It's actually the only way it can go is northwest, and that's where it's moving, but it's moving very slowly. And even then, you got the high over here, and again, no jet stream to move things along. So if we look at the excessive rain, you'll see that excessive rain, and you can see how the excessive rain pretty much stays in that area. We're not really going to see, right now they've been backing off. So here's the QPF. We'll go here. We'll show the QPF. We'll do days 1 through 7. You'll see they've moved the heaviest rain now a little more to the south because that ridge is just so strong. That's just not moving. That's why everything is just stagnant. That's why it's been hazy. We haven't had anything to clear out the haze because, again, there's nothing to move anything along when there's no jet stream. This is all something that nobody really wants to talk about. But we don't have a jet stream here. Here's your other weather map here. Fronts. All right, so here's your surface map, and you'll see everything is just kind of stuck in place. This is what we're having to worry about. If we look at the Storm Prediction Center, you'll see they got the flood risk over here and then slight severe over North Dakota. And that's probably going to continue into tomorrow with the flood risk. And we're going to look at the models in a moment. But first, we'll just briefly touch on the kind of weather we had today. Obviously, cooler. I think it felt a little cooler today. Temperatures, let's see. We've got mid-60s, of course, not in the alley, but generally mid-60s, 61 at West Hampton, a little warmer in Jersey. And then we'll go look at our highs today, and our highs generally we're a little bit cooler, upper 70s, not as many 80s, more clouds around, more of an easterly flow. That kind of kept the temperatures down. However, West Hampton managed to get down to 45 because there was a little pocket of nice air that we had late afternoon yesterday into last night before it kind of went away as we got toward this morning. So if we look at our current statistics for islip, and again, we've had very, very little rain. So while one area is getting soaked with 20 inches of rain, we had a high 76, low 54. Actually wound up being 2 degrees below normal today. But only at islip, only showing 0.06 inches of rain. 0.06 the entire month of September. That's like normally you're supposed to see almost 2 inches of rain. So the rainfall distribution is all messed up. It's all messed up. And that's why we're seeing what we're seeing. It's really, really a messed up situation. And if we look at the day at islip, see 63. Dew points up to 61 now. So dew points have come up a little bit. But let's close this out, and we're going to talk about what we have coming up this week. Obviously, we've got this big high here. Obviously, that's kind of blocking the progression. And again, I'm going to show you what's going on here with the jet stream. It's very dysfunctional. So you're saying, where is the jet stream? There really isn't one. There's like little pieces of it in Canada and in the West, but you don't see much of a jet stream here. Normally, you should have a west to east flow pushing things along, but this low is just cut off, and you've got this high that's just blocking. And so with this kind of pattern setup, and we're going to continue with this kind of pattern setup as we go into the weekend and next week, the jet stream remains a complete mess. It's just so it makes it very challenging for the models to decide how much rain we're going to get, where this thing is going. This is the GFS. We'll look at the European model here at the 12Z European run, and it shows more of the same. This is just a mess. This is what happens when you don't have a jet stream. The jet stream's falling apart because, again, the temperature difference between the poles and the equator is less because the poles are warming so quickly. That is a fact, despite what the right wants to say. And unfortunately, we have a lot of meteorologists that are influenced by the right, too, that just want to deny what's happening. They're just completely denial. But then again, you know the way I feel about that particular political party and the person running for president in that political party who shouldn't even be running for president at all. They should be behind bars. It just shows you how far we've fallen here in the United States. But anyway, let's get back to the weather here. So anyway, let's go and look at, and I don't even want to mention his name. That's for other videos. Let's go to the upper air on the GFS. So here we are in the upper air, and you can see that you get this ridge that's just blocked everything up, and that ridge just doesn't really go anywhere. It kind of weakens a little bit, as you see. And then we got a low that sort of cuts off the east coast, but I mean, it's just kind of stuck there. And so the models just have trouble dealing with it. Let's look at the European. I gotta go to the 12Z because we have more time on that. You can see European, very similar look. Actually, it's a little stronger with the ridge. All right, and we can see there's a low that's just stuck there, cut off the east coast. It's just cut off there. It's just left there because there's nothing to move anything along. So let's go to the surface now, and being that we're at the euro, we'll go ahead and use the euro for this. So here's the European surface model. You can see that low kind of just dissipates over the Carolinas. The remnants of it, the moisture of it, starts slowly creeping northward, and then we might actually get some rain later Wednesday into Thursday, according to the European. That the low, and then there's a little low that forms, another low that forms off the coast, and then that sort of gets pushed down, but it's sort of sitting there again. So we may get a break, and then we may get more rain on Friday from this thing, according to the Euro. And then the high finally slowly starts building down to the south here. But you see, look at this thing. It's just stuck sitting there. The Euro just leaves it there because there's no jet stream. There's nothing to move it along. Let's go look at the GFS here. Now, GFS obviously continues to show a drier pattern where we may not get much rain at all. And we really could use some. I mean, ice slips barely had any rain. Things are really, really dry, and we could use a little bit of rain. And that low just kind of just sits there. They have different ways of doing it. GFS not quite as strong with the ridge. Eventually, it builds the ridge down, but it's different. They have all different scenarios. You know, the GFS is showing a tropical system in the Gulf here. Of course, if you go to the 12Z run, it's probably not even there. Yeah, of course, it's in a totally different spot. So there's such volatility in the models because the models just don't know what to do because of the way things are. This is exactly what we're seeing when we that's what was forecasted. We'd have more of a north-south kind of deal where we don't have any west to east movement here. It's just all messed up. It really is. It's very, very messed up. It really is. So that's the GFS. We'll go to the icon next. Here's the icon. You can see there's that low again. The icon also shows pushing it south. Not much rainfall from this. So I'm gonna go and we're gonna go into a closer view here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So here's the icon. You can see it really just brings in a little rain Wednesday night, very light, and then it pushes it away. And under this situation here, total accumulated precip would be, barely anything. Maybe Jersey gets a little more. Maybe they could manage to get a half an inch. But we would get a quarter of an inch or less under this particular situation. Now we're going to switch. Going to go to this view here. Let's go to the GFS. This will be the next. This is the GFS run. GFS shows a similar deal here. It barely gives us anything. It barely gives us anything. If we look at the total accumulated precip, almost nothing. But the Jersey Shore might get a little more. This is absolutely very, very bad. If for those who like the fall leaves, the leaves are changing early, and they're going to fall off early because things are so dry right now. Maybe a little bit of luck in Jersey if they can get some rain out of this. European is a better situation. So if we go to the European here, the European, oh, look at this. So the European actually has a soaking for us. This is the 18Z European. Let me go to the 12Z. I don't know if the 12Z has it. So the 12Z doesn't have it. See just volatility here. It has that little batch on Friday that would come through and give us a soaking, which we could really use. So here's what the European does. So the European, not too much Wednesday, but Wednesday night to Thursday, it has some very heavy rain. This is the latest 18Z European with the low over Long Island that would last. It would linger into Thursday. Thursday would be kind of staying wet, and then it would slowly improve Friday. This is what the European is doing. So they're all over the place. That's the 18Z European. If we look at the 12Z, though, it looks completely different. So the 12Z brings it in a little bit of a different time here. So there's still a chance that we may get some beneficial rains from this, but it remains to be seen whether we'll actually get them or not. And again, this European would result in a flash flooding situation for us, but this would be definitely something to bust the drought. This could give us maybe 4 or 5 inches of rain in some areas if we could get into that. But I don't know if we're going to. Like I said, things are really, really dry. I mean, I hear people saying the lakes are, some of the rivers are very low, and I've seen it myself. They're very low. After all that rain we had, it's just very, very messed up. So let's go to the NAM next. We'll start looking at the shorter range models next. Let's do the shorter range models. All right, don't have enough of the 0Z NAM, and so I have to look at the 18Z NAM. So here's the 18Z NAM. And you can see the Carolina, they looks like they'll get eventually, this starts moving north, wouldn't they? You'll see here maybe some light, probably nothing tomorrow. Wednesday, it brings in some of the heavier rain over, you can see that low. Right over Jersey, it looks like it brings in some heavy rain. And then over Long Island later on Thursday, brings in some rain here. But you can see here, yeah, look at that low right there. It's just kind of, it forms a low, and then it's as far as we got out to Thursday. But whatever we get, it's not going to move very fast because, again, there's no jet stream. So if it does get up here, we'll get some. So out to 06 Thursday, let's see how much rainfall this thing is actually giving us. And you can see some areas where the rain, whatever showers pop up, they're going to be slow moving, and we could see flooding. So it looks like it has some areas in Jersey getting a lot of rain. Look at that yellow. Even a foot pop, possibly, depending on where that goes. So we have to see. It's possible. It's possible. Let me go to the NAM 12. That'll be the next one we can look at. We get a little more range on this one and see. And you can see it keeps Long Island dry, but it has the rain over Jersey, over 2 inches of rain for Jersey. So, yeah, this is it's very hard to predict what's going to happen. It really is. So let's now go to the HRRR model, which we should have the full 0Z HRRR at. And I'll start over here. And you can see the HRRR not looking very impressive at all with the rainfall. It just brings in some light rain Wednesday, and then maybe a little bit of a steadier rain later Wednesday night with this low over here. That's what the HRRR is saying, and then that only gets us out to Wednesday night. So total accumulated precip on that, really not much, but there could be more rain falling after that. So, yeah, we still have a lot of uncertainty when it comes to this system. Let's look at our dew points and wind flow. Obviously, it will get a lot more humid. Here's the HRRR. And again, you can see the E. We have the easterly winds tomorrow. And that easterly fetch could cause some flooding also as well, coastal flooding. And you can see the dew points come way up, especially on Wednesday. But that's as far out as we've got on the dew points and the temperatures on these models here. So here's the HRRR. Again, tonight, probably the last night that it might get sort of cool. And then tomorrow will be into the 70s. Similar temperatures to today, but it won't be cooling down as much tomorrow night because we'll have more clouds around. And then Wednesday, obviously, with the cloud cover and the showers around, 70s probably. Here's the GFS. We'll look at the GFS as well, the dew points and wind flow. So here's the dew points and the wind flow. And here's your system. And again, you can see slow drying on Thursday. And then tries to bring another lobe in, perhaps some moisture Thursday night and Friday, and then the weekend. Hopefully we get that drier air in, and we'll be able to have a decent weekend, and we don't want the wet weather lingering till then, obviously. Once it gets around, that's just the problem. It's going to be hard to get rid of. But judging by these temperatures, you're 80, just indicating some sunshine, though it does drop it on Saturday and Sunday into the little bit of a cooler air mass there behind that. But as far as when we'll see the sun again, it's showing a lot of clouds, obviously. I'm not going to... You can look at Thursday. You can see a little bit of a break maybe off to the west. Maybe Friday a little more. Saturday maybe. This is ways out. And going this far out, it's really hard to say what's going to happen with the sky. Because, again, this is the 18Z RGEM, which only goes out this far. But you can see tomorrow we'll have a decent amount of clouds around. I wouldn't say it's overcast. I mean, you have a little bit of sun, but after that, we're going to be in a kind of gloomy stretch. It all depends on, again, how fast we can get these things, these storm systems moving on out. And the RGEM only goes out so far. You can see it keeps us in the clouds. Now we can also look at the RGEM as well as far as precipitation goes. I think the RGEM is one of the wetter models. So, yeah, it starts to rain Wednesday and then pretty much has it lingering around as light rain on Thursday. Let's go to total accumulated precip here. And that RGEM is a little more of a better scenario because it doesn't give any ridiculously heavy rainfalls. It has everybody around 1 to 2 inches, which is what we need at this point. We need to make up about 2 inches of rain to get where we're supposed to be for this time of September. Well, I think that's going to cover almost everything here that I have. All the information we have for you. So it's still going to be hard to find. That's why I'll be back tomorrow night because this system is very unpredictable. As far as the smoke goes, I guess we can look at it. It's kind of pointless because we're going to have clouds around, but we'll hopefully at least we'll. I mean, it's not really going to. You can see the it's just sitting over us. This hazies. There's not a whole lot of smoke off to the west, and eventually it looks like maybe we'll get rid of it eventually, but we have to move this low out of here, and everything's just kind of stuck right now. So, anyway, I think that's going to wrap things up. So, we'll talk more about the storm tomorrow, obviously. We'll have to see what happens. Obviously, we do have small craft advisory in effect, and we'll have to watch out for those waves and surf getting bigger, already starting to, off the coast of this thing. You can see already it looks like we've got some coastal flood advisories in effect for Jersey and the Delmarva, so that's probably going to wind up being moved up. And you can see a 30-mile-an-hour wind gust here. Look at the dew point here, 71, so definitely getting to some juicy air here on the Delmarva here. 72, dew point 68 at Wildwood, northeast 22. And these are the kind of conditions we're going to have here. We can look at some of the buoys here. Let's see if we can get a buoy out here. It would be nice if there was a buoy that worked. Well, they were all not working, really. Unbelievable. Yeah, there is no buoys here. None. That's messed up. Why are there no buoys? They're all not here. We have one over here. What are the wave height? 8.9 feet. You can see, though, that we're going to have definitely getting into a much more humid air mass as we head into it later tomorrow and Wednesday. That's going to definitely bring in more of a chance for rain, and let's hope we get some. I don't want a gloomy stretch, but we need a good 1 to 2 inches of rain. Hopefully it'll fall Wednesday and Thursday, and hopefully it gets out of here by Friday. So that's going to wrap up this update on TD8, and we'll be tracking TD8 and its remnants as it moves northward and see how much rain it will give us. Have a good night.